best interest is keeping you safe by changing your passwords. But we found out pretty quickly that when we were trying to get this podcast going, that your password changed. How was that?
Yeah, well, it just reminds me there's so much into this business that I don't even know. And my brain just stops. It's literally not wired for it. You give me a person and a conversation and I'll take it and run with it. But you give me one kink with technology and I'm like, I'm done. Trash it, throw it in the garbage. And Alex,
Moral of the story, stay in your lane, folks.
Stay in your lane. And I just have very short patience. I have a lot of patience in certain areas. And in some, there's something that happens, a snap hits.
You know what? That's what I would say though. Knowing you for as long as I have is, you know what your lane is, and you not only stay in it, but you like double down on the things that are in your lane. So that's phenomenal. All right. I have to introduce you for those that are watching that do not know who this is. This is one of my very close friends. I've known her for a very long time. I think since you were 17 or 18.
17, yeah.
Yeah. So Tara, this is Tara Heinz, and she is one of the most consistent top producers that I've ever worked with. We spent 10 years together at City of Trees Real Estate, and I got to watch firsthand how she built a business rooted in positivity, hustle, and serious results. Every single year, massive results. So you've been in real estate since 2010. You started in lending when you were only 17 years old. Now you're launching your own brand, Lion's Den Real Estate, and stepping into a leadership type role with your Mindset Mastermind platform. I'd love to dive into that as well.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I think you're bringing education and energy to the next generation of agents. So, Tara, you are the real deal. I'm so excited to have you on the pod today. So,
thank you.
First, let's start with the origin. Like, what got you into this amazing industry we call real estate?
Oh man. It was really a process of elimination. At a young age, I didn't get to have very present parents around. They were always hustling and bustling, trying to make moves. And I have a lot of respect for that. And I just wanted more time in life. I was like, there's got to be a way to make more money and have time to do the things that we love. And so office desk jobs, 9 to 5, blue collar, that type of stuff, just none of it really checked the boxes of how can I be a stay-at-home mom and make 6 figures and have time to maintain a healthy physique. So those 3 things were big check boxes as I was considering what I would do with my future. And it led me to some different mentors that just kind of helped shape me. And I avoided college. I asked my dad if I could go to college. And when we really narrowed down, what did I want to do with my life? None of it required a college degree. It was either going to be entrepreneurship or something in the realm of possibly real estate. And that really was rooted in his experience as a home builder. So I got to see homes get built from the ground up. I watched him make significant money, and I watched him change people's lives, because when you're moving into a new home, it's usually something exciting and something big, and it's a massive accomplishment. And so just being a part of that energy cycle to me was a real big draw. So at 17, right out of high school, I was either going to go to ASU and be a party girl, wearing Ugg boots and denim skirts and running around chasing boys, or I was going to get straight to work where I could gain experience, start getting paid, and go against kind of the trend. Because all my other friends, especially at Centennial High School, I mean, a lot of them were going straight to college. They were in serious relationships and kind of had a plan. And I had a plan too, just nobody believed it. I put in my yearbook I was going to be a mortgage broker at Custom Mortgage, and it ended up coming into fruition. But everyone was like, wow,
hold on. So first of all, I want to double click a little bit on, you wrote down a bit of a plan. So from an early age, you are always putting ideas or plans into the universe for it to happen. So I just want to earmark that for future, because I'm gonna reference that in a minute. But why didn't you just get into home building like your dad? Like, what caused you to not want to get into that industry, and what caused you to want to get into mortgages?
Honestly, it was really, I don't want to call it an immature decision, but nail guns, they still make me blink. Every time a nail gun goes off, it just sends my nervous system for a frenzy. And I don't love sawdust. I don't like the actual job site part of it. I just like the pretty finished product. And that's when my dad was like, well, then you should be a loan officer, because then you can just stay in your outfit and deal with paper. And so that's what I ultimately started training for. And that's where I got to meet you, Brent, was through Sarah Schroeder at Custom Mortgage, when it was just, tell me what to do. How do I be you? You look fit and you've got a lot of time on your hands and you've got a lot of money. That, like, I want that. And so I told my dad, I was like, that's what I want to be when I grow up. I want business cards and a really
So
nice.
he said, you want to be like Sarah Schroeder when you grow up. So why not just work for her and emulate her?
He was like, you don't have to wait, just start being that person now. And so I really have my dad to credit for a lot of my mindset early on of, you might not have the plan, but you better believe it's going to work. You better believe it's going to happen, because without belief, no plan will work. So have belief first, and then the plan will fall into place. And so I was accidentally finding that to be true.
Okay. So have belief and the plan will fall in place. How has that mindset served you since?
Oh my gosh. I mean, you know, probably more than most people in my life, that it truly has shaped everything. I'm a big believer in pick what you want and then, you know, end game, work it backward. But it comes down to very small decisions every single day, right? You have to adjust your filter and put your body in alignment with who would be doing those things and who would have those things. And you better start making every single decision in your day like those people would.
Yeah, there's something that you and I know really well. They call it a bold law.
Yeah.
And the bold law is be, do, have.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, when you're saying that, that's the thought process I come onto is be, do, have. So what does
Absolutely.
be, do, have mean for the people listening?
For the people listening, a lot of that be, do, have, people put it in reverse. They focus on what they want to have, and they're so upset about what they have to do, or they don't understand what they have to do. They overcomplicate what they have to do. They think it's this big action, but really be, do, have is just think about who would be doing and having what you want. And then, you know, what are they being? How are they feeling? What are they thinking? What are they eating in the day? What type of books are they consuming? You know, where are they spending their free time? Who are they being? And then, you know, what are they doing? That's the action steps. They're reading better material. They're eating food for their body. I kind of just doubled down on that. But all of a sudden you start having things that you didn't ever get to experience before because you weren't doing the right things. But instead of getting a kink in your mindset of, oh my gosh, they have this, I want to have that too, but I'm not going to do what they did. It's like, well, no shit, you're not going to have what they have if you don't do what they did. But there's other ways that you can get it all.
It's kind of a way to reverse engineer it to you emulate what the person you want to be, what they do on a daily basis, how they think on a daily basis, the activities they do on a daily basis.
Right.
In order to have it.
Instead of, just going, skipping the work and just being like, well, why not me? Or they have that. It's like you're comparing. It's the other bold law, right? Comparing your insides to other people's outsides. You have to actually be that person first. It's like the lottery. You can't just all of a sudden have all the money and keep it. You have to be a person that knows how to have money and do the things that people with money do in order to keep it, or else you're just going to go straight to, oh, I have it, but I'm not being or doing the right things to maintain it. So now it's gone.
Yeah, that's a lot like, you know, those people. Well, we're probably most of us are these people. When you play Monopoly, there's the guy that knows how to play really good and keep all the money, and then everybody else on the board just loses the money. And if they just changed the way they play to match the way that guy's playing, that person, they would be able to hold on to the money too. That's interesting. Exactly. So you were at Custom Mortgage, you were, emulating or being who you wanted to be at the time. What did that evolve into?
It evolved into being around the right people that could see my potential and then take me to the next step. I was a mortgage processor and I wanted to be a loan officer. And ultimately I wanted to be a broker at 17. That was my path. I wanted to own a brokerage. And what's fun about this whole experience is that you don't have to stay committed to a certain plan. It can change, right? You might have a North Star that you're chasing. And then you might realize, oh my gosh, I don't want to be a mortgage broker. I don't want to own a mortgage brokerage. I want to actually just still have free time and make money. Is there another option that might be a better suit, for that? Kind of like the dip. Be willing to separate from something if there's something better that you're on your way to. So I did my time. I was nervous because the market was not exactly healthy. This is 2005.
Yeah.
And it
got real shaky.
It was eye-opening. I mean, I think Sarah's company we had 25 loan officers when I first started. And in the first 3 months, it dwindled down to 3 people. And I was literally watching their Porsches get repoed from the parking lot. And I called my dad. I was like, I think I made the wrong choice. I should have gone to college. Everybody, now the ship is sinking. And he told me, he's like, hunker down, do your job, solve people's problems, and save them time.
Oh my
And
God.
if you can survive in this market, you will be fine in any market. And so I just stayed the
By the
course.
way, for anybody listening right now, because the market feels harder than it did in 21 and 2019. Anybody hearing that, like, if you didn't write that down, like, you should have. What was your dad's advice again? Hunker down,
Hunker
solve.
down.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hunker down, stay the course, solve people's problems, and save them time
Wow.
in any aspect.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean, if you help enough people get what they want, eventually you start getting what you want.
Absolutely. Someone's from out of town. Where do you want to go to dinner? Save them time by giving them resources and solve their problem by doing the research for them. Like you can get quick access to people's trust by solving their problems and saving their time with day-to-day life. And then it turns into real estate.
So it sounds like this springboarded into real estate. You eventually got into selling real estate versus selling
Yes.
mortgages. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And it's kind of
walk me through that.
it's kind of a funny little hip hop little dance. So I was doing the lending, and then I ended up getting into a relationship where, again, people lead you to other people. In that relationship, I ended up meeting a bar owner, and Ted, he'll be okay with me talking about it on this podcast, but he ended up seeing my potential. He knew I had 5 years experience in the lending world, and he had a real estate license at the time and wanted to grow that. And so ended up offering me a position to be his full-time assistant and help kind of run the bars, manage the bars, and go to real estate school for free. And I was watching lending kind of sinking, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I really want to put in this much more time. And so I quickly took the opportunity to get my real estate license, and I worked with Ted for 2 years, and it was great learning. And I also learned through that experience that I really liked that. I liked the idea of selling houses, giving them their keys, helping them find out what to sell for. It was great exposure for me. And then I parted ways with Ted, and he and I are still great friends. And it's awesome because everything we always talked about doing, I'm doing in the real estate realm. So it's almost like come full circle. And I don't know how long it would have taken me to actually make that plunge without him seeing the potential in me and offering me that license.
But that just goes to show, like, when you put your desires out into the world, it prepares you that when opportunities come by, you recognize them. Your subconscious serves it up to you and you recognize it.
You just almost nailed the best quote from the best movie, Little Black Book, Brittany Murphy. Probably not her, but that's where I heard it. Is luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yes.
And I remember hearing that when I was like 13. I was like, what does that even mean? That's so deep. It's really not that deep. It's not that deep. It's just luck is when preparation meets opportunity is the exact same concept of be, do, have. Yeah. Lucky people don't just run into opportunities. You have to know what you're preparing for. And then that way, when it does present itself, you're actually ready.
Well, there's this interesting thing that happens with your subconscious and your conscious mind. Your subconscious wants to protect you. And so it serves up the things it thinks you want. Right. So when you choose to have a bad day or see things in a negative light, it's going to serve things up that it thinks you want, which are going to be bad and negative things. And that's what your life is going to look and feel like.
Exactly.
Whereas if you say, this is what my life is, this is who I align with, these are the opportunities I align with, your subconscious will highlight those things as they flow through your life. So
absolutely.
Awesome. So go ahead.
Other people's verbiage and content can be controlling your subconscious without you even knowing it. And that's we'll table that for the mindset mastery portion of it, where it really is important to safeguard what your brain is hearing every day from your own created thoughts and other thoughts that it's eavesdropping on.
Yeah. We were doing a group coaching the other day. We were talking about limiting beliefs, and I made a statement that very wise and successful people have come before us, and they all are known for one-liners. Like Henry Ford is, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right.
Right. Yeah.
And so you would be wise in your journey to listen to all the things that people before us said and just believe them, because they obviously experienced something that caused them to find success. And they came up with one common thing that they said was the reason. And that became a statement. So you might as well just believe it versus believing all the people and all the chatter around you that likely, if it's, especially coming from social media, isn't even causing those people to be successful. Yet we put so much weight into it. You got to be really careful what you choose to believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and the whole history and story with my mom, I feel like I got a front row seat of watching someone just constantly complain. She didn't mean for her body to give out at 57, but she just was such in a pattern and a protective state of mind of, oh, if I consistently focus on the bad of what these other people did to me, then it'll make it seem like, I don't even know how to justify it, but it was just constant complaining and constant refocus on what hurt her instead of what's next in life. It was constantly just pouring all this attention, and what you give attention to, right, grows. What you focus on expands. There's so many, like you said, there's so many one-liners built around that. So I got to see firsthand what happens when those thoughts kill the physical body.
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay. I don't want to shift gears too fast, but I do want to push further into this journey and get to the end before we run out of time. You get into real estate, and then you leave TED. You get into I think you join a team.
Yes.
Right. You get in business with a smaller team. You become like the number one buyer's agent for this team.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Well, it was the same boyfriend that got me the connection to the job initially, the license. It was his cousin, Alyssa, that I'd quit working with Ted. And then within 30 minutes, she had called, and it was like this spot had opened up across the hall. Like the stars had aligned again for me to open up this position that was a no-brainer. And so she didn't know what to do with me and was like, can you show these houses? Go show these houses. And so I went and showed the house. They wanted to buy it. I wrote the offer, and I literally just like a puppy showed up at her door, and I was like, what do you want me to do now? And she's like, you just sold that one. Well, here's some more buyers. And she's like,
she threw the ball and you brought it back.
Yeah. I literally like a little puppy. I'm like, I have nothing else to do. Let's just do this. She's like, I'll just give you my entire book of buyer business then, and I'll go find sellers. And it was almost this turning cusp of the development of teams for Keller Williams, but we skyrocketed together.
Love that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's fast forward. Cause for those of you that are listening, I'm going to fast track this.
Yes.
You parted ways with that team, still great friends with that person. In fact, you're kind of in business with her today with your mastermind stuff, but, and then you went on your own, and then I talked you into partnering with us, which led to a 10-year relationship at City of Trees Real Estate, where we found tons of success together. Now you're on your new journey, which is Lion's Den Real Estate, and then your mastermind. So let's quickly walk through the where you're at now and what you expect for your future.
So I want to kind of make a movement, to be honest, with everything that we're talking about. My life mission is to abolish the victim mindset and show people how to take pride in the moves they make. And so that's where the Lion's Den Real Estate tagline is: take pride in the moves you make. And I want that to be from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed. And so I dream of it being on t-shirts everywhere, people's gym shirts. It's like I want to take over the just do it and take pride. It's the new just do it. Just take pride in what you're doing. I almost cussed. Sorry. It doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're doing your best, and that you value yourself first. That's really the root of all of this. I think the world needs more people that are proud of themselves, so that they're actually contributing and not assuming the worst out of everyone around them. So I want people to trust themselves again and take pride in the moves that they make. And so that's where the Mindset Mastery class loops into it, because I can't expect people to just, oh, I said you should learn, so now you know. Like, if I'm going to hope to raise the bar of people's self-worth, then I better help provide those resources. And that's where that class was born, because it was a need. It was a need, and we were asked.
So I love the message of your and the reasoning behind what you're doing with Lion's Den. I want to talk a little bit about this mindset mastery. What's it called?
Yes. Mindset Mastery.
Okay. Mindset Mastery. And what would someone expect if they said, hey, I want to go to a Mindset Mastery course?
You could expect to learn a lot about how the brain actually works. A lot of it's just knowledge. How does the brain actually function, so that we can begin to get graceful with ourselves and how we respond, how others respond, and just learn a little bit more about how to diffuse situations before conflict turns into chaos. Conflict is good. You and I know that very well. Conflict is good. And it's when people have self-doubt, or they start to take things personally, or make assumptions, like the 4 Agreements, right? Classic book, 4 Agreements. It's when we learn to hone in those emotional responses first, then the ripple effect is just so much better for everything that you interact with. Your relationships, your business, your fitness, your financial, everything is rooted in a more healthy mindset.
Got it. So to sum it up, someone could expect to learn how the brain works and how the next evolution of their life is rooted in a healthy mindset.
Right. When it chunks down or chunks up to that be, do, have model we talked about, right? There's 3 sections of the class. The first is, who are you wanting to be? We future pace, visualize, right? Try to strip other people's programming and expectations.
Yep.
And if we did redesign it, what would that look like? And you have to value yourself first in order to even visualize that. And then I focus on the do portion. That's where we do the stick to it method. What are you going to do? Literally from the minute you wake up. Are you going to brush your teeth? Are you going to have coffee? Are you going to go for a walk? Are you going to feed your dog? Are you going to check your email? Give yourself a plan and then stick to it. And then focus on what do you get to have when all of these come into fruition. So then you get to live and relish in the imaginary world of you, a 10 out of 10 in every area of your life, the wheel of life.
Yeah.
So you come in understanding, how does the brain work? What are some ideas of what I can do? And then give you that future you to be your cheerleader when you leave.
Wow. That's powerful. Well, I want to take the class. So
please do. You would love it. September 11th is the next one.
September 11th is the next class. Is it virtual? Is it in person? Where is it at? How would I?
We're going to do it in the Fidelity Room. I think it's floor 5. The Rockhampton address.
Fidelity Room in Boise, Idaho. So you have to be
the Alpha building by Top Golf.
Okay.
Floor 5.
Perfect. So you said I'm going to give you 1 minute to talk about it, and then we got to move on. Stick to it. What did you mean by the stick to it method? What did you mean?
So I am a very literal person. And after years and years and years of trying to sharpen this sword, I kept hearing things on repeat, like atomic habits of get your list of priorities in front of you. We are visual beings. Most of us learn and react most with visual. So the stick to it is a way to have a to-do list that's actually tactile. It's popsicle sticks. I'll show you. Stick to it. It's just a stick jar. And then it, to me, triggers my auditory sensation. And then it has all these items of things on it, right? Like to feed my dog. I might not need a reminder, but once it's done, you get to visually see momentum and you know your purpose. And it's not something that changes each day. I'm going to have lunch every single day. And the days I don't, I'm cranky. So just reminders of the simple stuff that keeps us going and keeps us growing. That's the biggest thing. It's maintenance. The items can be small enough that we just let them slip by and all of a sudden it's been weeks.
Have you ever watched those videos where they have the microphone next to all the auditory?
Yeah.
The
ASMR. Oh yeah.
You need to, just saying, you need to do that with the stick to it jars. You need to put a whole campaign together because the auditory side of that is just across this podcast was like,
you should watch the last. I just made a reel actually, and it said systems and ASMR, and it was me going through my little sticks.
All right, so we do have to move on in the interest of time. I do have a couple of things I want to go over, and one of the reasons we have other people on this podcast is because my perspective or Chase's perspective are not the only perspectives, and I want to hear what other people think. So I've got a couple recent news stories out, and I would love to chat with you about them. First one. This is per Axios. And basically they reported that there's an AI disruptor, a Boulder startup called Ridley launches an agent-free home selling platform. So this particular headline says, hold on, let me pull up the article here. Where's it at? So this particular article says, oh my gosh, where is it? Oh, here we are. Here we go.
We lost
So this is launched an AI first platform designed to guide homeowners through selling without an agent, offering checklists. Neat. Offering, sorry, my camera's.
I know. I was going to say it's drifting away from you.
I don't know what's going on. AI. See? Okay, this is perfect. This is perfect because this isn't about AI. My camera is AI and it has a mind of its own and it just took off on us. So this is, I did not pre-plan that. That actually is real. Okay. So it offers checklists. It has AI assistance, MLS access, legal aid, and optional human support, all for $1,000. So what do you think, Tara? Do you think that that is going to disrupt the real estate industry? Why or why not?
No, I don't. I don't. I really
Okay,
don't.
why?
I believe people want people. At the end of the day, I believe that people truly want and need people. And if you get rid of the real estate agent, it's just going to turn people to real estate attorneys, and they're going to realize that they're not nearly as fun and probably twice as expensive. And so I think if people were to even give it a shot, I think they will always go back to wanting people, personable people that make it an enjoyable experience.
So for everybody listening, I'm going to put your tensions at ease right now, because anybody who's found success in real estate will relate to this.
Yeah.
A robot cannot handle your emotions.
No.
And how many times have you been in a situation with a seller or a buyer where emotions were out of control?
Yes.
And
Exactly.
had the seller and buyer been dealing with each other, the deal would have blown up.
That's what I'm saying. Attorneys will just end up being called in because they're going to need a third party referee that's not a bot.
Yeah. And
It's just,
attorneys, cheaper or more expensive than?
yeah, at the end of the day, they're going to probably charge more, especially if they see an opportunities.
They charge 30%, just so you know. Like, they say they don't have standardized fees, and they say they attacked the real estate industry for having standardized fees, but they charged their typical 30% fee when
Yes.
they got the settlement on the real estate commission lawsuit. So you probably don't want to always bring attorneys in. You need someone who can keep the emotions between the lines.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's priority number one. But also, like, there's this whole aspect of, I think real estate really does create and bring more community together, because it's a real estate agent's job to stay in contact with people, connect with people, bring people together, and offer value outside of just buying or selling a home. It's just so that, because a realtor's job is to stay top of mind.
Yeah.
So what people I think don't realize is how much glue real estate agents, good ones, bring to the community.
Absolutely. Imagine having a summer solstice bash and everyone's like, we all use the same robot. Yeah. Like, clients aren't going to band around the same source unless it's a person or a team.
Yep. And Jason Abrams famously says, the moat around your real estate business that you can build is relationships. And that is one thing that cannot be disrupted, is a relationship that you have with someone, and then you back it up with knowledge and professionalism.
Exactly. That's why I use the cookies.
Yeah. So my take, your take, I think we're on the same page. We are not in denial. We don't here's the reality. Like, you should be a tech-enabled agent. You should leverage tech. Now, Tara probably isn't, but that's why she has her wonderful husband, Alex, to help her be a tech-enabled agent, because technology does speed us up. It does make us more efficient at maintaining those relationships and helping people get to the finish line. So
yeah, you have to be a tech person or have a tech person. There's no skipping tech. Yeah.
100%. In this business, if you think you're going to skip it, you're going to get edged out pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
Okay. So next article, next topic, first time home buyers at historic lows. So get this, this is per Business Insider, and in an article they posted July of 25. The median age right now to buy a house is 38.
Yeah.
38. Now, some of the reasons that they say this is happening is because of high rates and high cost of a high barrier of entry. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree. I was almost going to say that same thing. It's a pretty high barrier of entry. Literally took the words out of my mouth for people. If you don't have real estate already to provide that equity flow into your down payment, which might sound like a different language, but if you don't have your money already stacking up in real estate that you've owned, like a stock market, right? The price is going to go up. You buy it, it goes up or down. If you don't have that already rolling in your favor, or a trust fund, it's pretty hard to scrape up enough money to get the down payment. Or even if you have a no down payment, the rates make the payment very high.
Yeah. And here's my take, though, because we were experiencing this in 2018 and 19 as well, when homes were more affordable and rates were low. It was actually the most affordable time in history to buy a house, because of it was like the stars aligned with pricing and with interest rates. It's the
Absolutely.
most affordable time in history. And we still had a challenge with millennials, late millennial, or the latest millennials and Gen
Mhm.
Z.
Yeah.
And there was something in the culture of their mindset or framework. So how do you think we solve that? Like, how can you buy in
Mhm.
an expensive market with high rates? What are some things that agents should be thinking about?
Right. I think a lot of it's going to be education based. I think most fear, if not all fear, is rooted in uncertainty and just lack of clarity. And so once people understand, we'll take my own bonus son, for example. He had no idea the benefits of buying a house or why somebody should buy a house. And when you actually can show them a chart with, again, the visual, the brain likes visuals, when they can see that just because you pay a certain price for a house, it doesn't mean that house price stays. And most cases, long term, it goes up. It's just, I mean, it's a scary thought. It's a scary investment. You have to trust and you have to be patient. I think
Yeah.
the world is lacking trust and patience right now. Everybody wants things so dang instant. So it's hard for them to slow down enough to save the money to make the purchase, to see the big
Well,
picture.
and as a young adult, if you can't afford something, or you think you can't afford it, should that turn into an instant roadblock, or is there creativity that could happen?
I think there's absolutely creativity. And that's where, again, I don't think bots are ever going to be the end all be all for real estate sales, because there has to be creative thinking of, hey, this might be the price, but if you get this credit for a lower rate and you can make this a lower rate for a shorter time, like there's so many levers that can be moved in those scenarios and where the money comes from and how
I'm
much it
also
costs.
imagining younger folks, like it's the side hustle generation, right? The Uber Eats, plus maybe they have a job, maybe they only do the side hustle
Right.
type hustle. And what I'm thinking, I'm trying to put myself back into when I was young, because when I was that age, it is true that homes were less, right? But also, I made very little money when I was
Right.
in my early 20s, very little money.
Hmm.
And I still found a way to buy. But what I mean by that is, I personally went out and got a second job, and then I got roommates. So I did
Hmm.
co-living in order to make it work. And had I not done that when I was that age, I wouldn't have had the equity to trade into the next house, the better house, when it
Right.
became I needed a house for my family or whatever.
Right.
So
It's all
that
snowball.
started for me the cycle of, and see, AI going crazy again.
Taking you away.
AI. We don't like AI right now. Okay, so basically that started the cycle for me
Yeah.
to start investing in my net worth
Right.
instead of paying 100% interest for rent.
Absolutely.
So what are some
Absolutely.
other creative ways that you've seen younger generations potentially own real estate?
I know a lot of them are working out situations. I know parents, people don't want to always have to rely on their parents. And there are some people that are utilizing ways to leverage their parents for down payments and then maybe have separate agreements there. But just, I mean, I don't know about ways to make money or additional money, but a lot of it I think is just getting clarity on what is actually needed.
What about finding and buying a duplex?
Right. I guess, yeah, like house hacking, like you were saying, like you could live in one side and rent out the other side. And I think a problem a lot of people have too is when they buy a house, they think it has to be their forever home immediately. And so they think, oh, I'm not going to buy that junker and then work my way up. I'm going to wait until I have something that I would live in for a long time or keep forever. And they don't realize it's like a cycle. You turn and burn real quickly
Yeah, I think
and
the
build
myth
up.
is they think they have to save a bunch of money in order to get into the house that they actually want, when it's like the reality is, the statement that they all should realize and start understanding today is, get in the game.
Get in the game. Now buy
Find a way
some
to get in the
whatever you
game.
can afford, just get it. And
Yeah.
then you can improve it over time. And I also don't think it's bad idea for some people to start learning some trades. If they don't have ability to buy a house, then start learning how to get into flipping positions where you can be a framer or a contractor or a designer. And then you can start to get percentage interest in those flips if you work in those trades. But that's a pretty small segment of people.
Great advice. Okay. I told you this was going to go fast. We're switching
Yeah.
gears already.
Okay.
We're almost to the end, believe it or not. Okay. So, the last section of the podcast, we started this a little while ago. It's my favorite part. So basically, I'm not on social media that much, but when I am, the algorithm has figured out what I like. And
Okay.
so it serves me up now, influencer agents who deliver hot takes. And so what a hot take is they say something that's harsh or grabs attention. And so I write those down when I hear them, and I'm like, okay, that might be a good one to bring up. So I'm going to say the hot take, and I want to know what your opinion is. I want to know if you think it's true, or what your frame of reference is, or how you would think it's true, or whatever. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the first hot take was agents who are avoiding follow-up are not saving their time, agents who are avoiding follow-up are not protecting their time. They're protecting their ego.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
Well, fear of rejection. I know for my own self, I think, oh my gosh, if I let too much time pass, then there's embarrassment. You just start to haunt yourself past Tara. You would have, avoid. Again, just you're making an assumption that they're not going to want to hear from you, or that, oh, they've already picked somebody else. There's just a stew of negative thoughts that can attack the ego.
Yeah. And just knowing you well, I know that in times where you didn't, maybe you slowed down on your follow-up and you had to pick it back up. The one superpower you have that if every agent could take this on, when you called someone you haven't talked to them in a while, or you forgot to follow up with them or whatever, you hit that call with a massive amount of positivity and excitement from the get-go. And so they're never dissatisfied with hearing from you. They're always excited to hear from you.
For sure. And most of them never, it's not like they were waiting for my call. That's the other thing about our ego, is we think that they've been waiting and anticipating, oh my gosh, when is that realtor going to follow up with me? Very few people in the world are like that. And so it's all in our head.
I think the moral of the story when I hear that hot take is that agents avoid doing the necessary actions, and then it compounds, creating anxiety. And then that anxiety creates a feeling that they just can't overcome. Therefore, they say that they're protecting their time because it's a waste of time, but really they're protecting their ego. Their ego is saying, I don't want to admit that I failed, or I don't want to admit that I don't like rejection, or I don't want to admit that that might work.
For sure.
Got it. Okay. All right. Next one. This one, I wrote this one down because there's so much polarization around being scripted. Okay. So I'm really curious what your thoughts are on this one. Scripts aren't fake. They're freedom.
1,000% freedom. You have to know what to say. It's expected that you know your skills and your market, and the words that we use. It's no different than a restaurant. I would expect my server to know what's on the menu. I don't want them to just make it up and ad lib each day. So it's, I think, very important to know what to say within a reasonable. I mean, obviously you don't want to be robotic. There's two sides to that. And I do think it's our duty and obligation to know the right words to say dealing with home sales.
Yeah. And also here's my take on it. Knowing what to say and how to say it evokes certain reactions out of people. So if you don't know what to say, you could be inadvertently causing the negative reaction or pushing people away when what's in their best interest is not to be pushed away, and it's to work with you as a professional.
Correct. Yeah. NLP in the language of sales, NLP, the neuro-linguistic programming and the language of sales, all of those, I think it's like malpractice if you're not using those filters to help people make decisions.
Okay. For those listening, if you want to go down the path of knowing what the hell to say, get a book. It's called Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents. Ooh. And it's by Jones, Smith, and Macklin. It's Phil M. Jones is the guy. So this is the book. And it's one of the most powerful books that you can read. It has a lot of the things that I already in my sales career said, but it adds context as to when you use it, why you say it, how it can disarm people, how it can further the conversation, and how it can help people actually get to the goal that they want. Right. A lot of times we are getting in the way of their goal, or they're getting in the way of their goal because of some subconscious thing happening.
Absolutely. The way we present the information is very important.
All right. We might have time for two. So let's go over this next one and then we'll go from there. The hot take was sellers are sorry. Where is it
at? So the anticipation.
Oh, okay. Got it. Sellers are pulling home. I'm going to mess it up.
No, you got this.
Sellers are pulling homes off the market, and it's your fault.
It's whose fault?
The agent's fault.
And it's the agent. No, it's not. There's 3 things that sell a house, Brent. You are the one that helped drill this into my brain. Price is obviously a main factor. Condition of the house is a big one, and the marketing. So if I can prove I'm getting you views and prove that we're marketing it, and you cannot improve the condition in any way, then it is a price problem. Okay. It might be the agent's fault for not explaining that.
There you go. I actually think with sellers pulling their home off the market, other than extenuating circumstances like we're not going to sell anymore,
improper expectations,
is I think that the agents at fault for not setting proper expectations on what the process of selling a home is, and if it is overpriced, or by the way, condition also means overpriced, because if it's poor condition and people are saying no because of the condition, they're saying no because the price doesn't align with the condition.
Right.
So it's price and marketing, really.
Right. But I'm saying that the lever that someone, they could redo their floors
to match
100%. The price. So they could bring in Joe to contract and stuff. But
I agree with you 100%.
So then, yes, to loop it all through, it is the agent's fault.
All right. So we only have 2 minutes left. And I want to end on a question that I always end on when I'm talking to someone with as much experience as you have. Okay. If today you were talking to rookie Tara, she's a week in the business, what advice would you give her that you didn't know then that you wish you knew now?
I even knew it back then and I didn't do it. Collect every person's contact information and keep it in an organized data bank and communicate with them consistently.
Okay. So
I'm very proud of my business, and it would be 10 times bigger had I actually properly ran my business with like a fishing net, collecting people and providing good service for them instead of just going out with my fishing pole and getting what I could each day.
Okay. So is it hard to get people's data? You probably, if you know exactly what to say, it's probably easy. And then is it hard to put them in some form of a system to keep it organized?
No, it's not. It's not hard.
So what do you think prevents people from doing it? What prevents agents from doing it today?
Again, I think just fear or ego gets in the way. That's the other thing I'd go back and tell Tara is, hey, you're a little baddie and people want to work with you. So ask with confidence to get their contact information so that you can be a resource and a beacon of light, literally. Like I need to get their contact information because I want to give them love on their birthday, or I want to make sure they know about any deals. And it's also okay if they unsubscribe. I've had to make peace with that. My ego, you know this very well. I did not like seeing people unsubscribe. So I wouldn't even add them because I didn't want to see them unsubscribe if they didn't like my open house post that week. And it's not that they didn't want to be friends with me because they don't want my open house ad.
Yeah.
It's not personal. So just get the names and make sure you have a way to contact your people.
Absolutely. And by the way, unsubscribes are an amazing opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to call someone and say, hey, I saw you unsubscribe from that. No problem. Yeah. Is there anything specific that you were getting that you did like that I could isolate, or do you just not want to receive emails ever again from me? And a lot of times they'll be like, oh, I just didn't like getting this, this, and this. And it gives you an opportunity to connect. It's a manufactured follow-up or conversation. Right. And you get to curate what their interaction with your business looks like. So great advice and great final words. We are spot on the 9:30 hour. So we are finished. Tara, thank you so much for
thank you so
all
much
of your information. You are a beacon of light, and I think you're a huge inspiration for a lot of agents, and the business is better because of you. Appreciate you.
You're so sweet. Thank you. And I can't wait to show you the name tags that I took your inspo.
Oh, love it. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll show them to you.
Until next time. See you later, Tara.
Thank you. Bye.